The author of this book is not allowed to promote it anymore because Meta came after her. I mean, it wasn't a wild guess to imagine that working for Facebook had very toxic elements to it, right? But from the perspective of somebody who is a former diplomat, a New Zealand diplomat, who created the global outreach job essentially at Facebook, saying, listen, we need to think of ourselves as a political entity and how we're going to interface with other countries and the effect we're going to have. The charge at the center of this book, A Cautionary Tale of Power, Greed, and Lost Idealism, is that nobody internally really took that seriously, except in the way that policy or governments would stop their growth and profit. Facebook essentially sold my mom's country out, right, in terms of rigging the democracy in an election because of the data that was sold and the ways that that election was suppressed because people used Facebook to depress the vote. This story is about how Mark Zuckerberg, among many other stories, realized this power that he initially downplayed or didn't see as a thing with Facebook, and the realization he had when he started to realize he could get people elected. We've been talking about viewing Facebook or viewing social media platforms as a feudal state where there are kings and queens who own the land, and then there's the rest of us who work on it or work within it or talk to each other among it, and how we are not, even though we're participating, we're not necessarily in charge of how these things are run, right? Like, we can't unelect Mark Zuckerberg. And the decisions that a man like him can make have massive consequences politically on the real life world we live in. The virtual state is absolutely affecting the physical state. It is everybody's business to understand how an online feudal state can destroy and undermine a physical democracy. I obviously was not on the Gulf Stream. I wasn't at the Four Seasons in Jakarta with Sarah and Mark, but I can tell you that the impact and the political carelessness that we have seen from Facebook kind of makes these claims track. They are going out of their way, Meta is going out of their way to discredit her and say it's a mismatch of out-of-date lies. But the problem is that the results and the consequences of their actions and their chosen inactions line up too neatly with what she's saying. She can't promote the book, but I'm going to promote the book here, and no one asked me to. I'm just halfway through it and I've only had it for a day. Are we going to be able to go back blow for blow and know historically exactly what happened? No, we're not going to have that. But what we can learn is how to view these social media platforms in a way that is critical and understanding of our place as citizens of them. I enjoy using Instagram. I enjoy using Facebook Messenger. I even enjoy having a TikTok, right? Not that those two things are connected, but you get the point. It's not to say that just because you hate something or just because you critique something or just because you use or like something doesn't mean that you can't understand the people who rule it, or at least the guiding ethos of who's ruling it. The publisher apparently is still allowed to promote the book, but she's not. She's not allowed to talk about it anymore. If you read it, I would love to know what you think. And good news, today I'm recording the second episode of Apathy is Not an Option, which is my show with PRX and the Southern Poverty Law Center. So if you like talking about policy and government and the ways normal everyday people alongside experts can come together and make the American dream actually real for everybody, check it out.